Three ladies, Naleo Pilimehana, that come from the Kamehameha school. So there's Angela Morales, Nalani Choi, and Lehua Kalima. They go on to become one of Hawaii's great girl group recording artists to have several firsts. The first to cross over from just Hawaiian genre to adult contemporary, to be on the adult contemporary national charts, play House of Blues in California, and then to also play music in Japan and be there in the pop category and not just the Hawaiian category. So they've been the first to cross a lot of these barriers. Angela Morales joins us from Naleo Pilimehana, and she's had barriers of her own to go through. So we're talking story about her journey during the pandemic, but it's actually a long period beforehand. Angela, hello.
Aloha, hi.
Thank you for joining us, and congratulations on all of the accolades that continue to happen for you personally and professionally as a musical artist. How do you want to start talking about your current journey that you're on now?
Oh my gosh. I think it's I've been on my own personal journey and it has a lot to do with my health. But it definitely started long time ago. Even when I was in high school, I was always one of the big girls, and I had my first child. And I say this a lot when I was pregnant. Matter of fact, my son Solomon, my oldest, is celebrating his birthday, but I was 150 pounds when I found out I was pregnant. I look back at that picture knowing when I was pregnant, I'm like, gosh, man, I looked great. I don't know what was wrong with that. But anyway, 9 months later, when I went to give birth, I was 224.
Wow.
Now, I also had medical issues along the way, which then I held a lot of water. I had toxemia. But when I gave birth to him, and he was 8 pounds, 15 and a half ounces, and when I left the hospital, I was still 180. So 30 pounds of that was all me. I had my next child, Sasha, my next one, Sheldine, and I ended up in the 200 club, and I just got bigger and bigger. How does this tie with Naleo? I sit back and I look at it now and I think, gosh, being in the public eye, should I not have been more aware of what I looked like? But everybody followed our life and our music and followed us getting older. So I just think it was a natural progression. And I didn't really think about it. What I realized was I didn't think about it because I didn't pay attention to myself. As a mother and as a wife, everybody was first. My husband was first, my children were first, my music was first, my work was first. Everything else was a priority except me. I took a back burner. And by the time I openly told myself, you are not healthy, I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and I have chronic arthritis in my knees. And I was realizing that I was waddling side to side instead of walking heel toe. For a lot of even our Japan fans, they would see me with a stool and I would sit a lot of times because my knees would lock up, my feet would hurt, I would have sciatica going up my back. I was just in a lot of discomfort and pain.
Now you faced health issues like this, but you've had other barriers to get over as well. You've had some life events that have also jarred you mentally as well.
Yes. I acquired my youngest son, Kaimana. He is my nephew by blood. I got him at 3 months old, and he will be 20 in October. So I'm taking care of my own 3 children. I have an infant that I'm caring for. My mother ends up coming home sick from Texas, and I was caring for her, and then my husband was sick. So again, everybody is the priority. I had to take care of everyone. My husband had heart disease, similar to what John Coco had. And so I lost my husband back in 2004, a month after my oldest child, Solomon, graduated from high school. So when my husband passed away, for me, it was, okay, Angela, at 38 years old, I'm a widow. I lost the love of my life, but I have 4 children that depend on me. I have 2 of my musical partners that depend on me, and I have my own responsibilities. So I just got to keep chugging along. And I continue to put everybody first, everything first. And I told myself I had the greatest love I could ever have in my life, and he's gone, and it's okay. And I'm going to live the rest of my life for my kids and grandkids, and it is what it is. I continued another decade and about 6 years more in, and then I started to take care of myself. And how that happened was when my husband passed away, we didn't know what to do. So I cremated him and kept him home. And actually that helped because I felt safe. Even though he wasn't physically with me, he was there. But back in 2018, I felt it was time for us to let him go, to really just release him. And my kids at that point were like, yeah, Mom, it's time. We need to do that. So we were able to have a wonderful life celebration and scatter his ashes. It was on that day that because of the emotional burden that was lifted off of me, as the survivor of this relationship, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, did I do everything right? Was I a good enough wife? Am I a good enough mother? Am I doing what I need to do in order to just sustain myself and survive? That guilt was lifted off, and that's when I started to focus on myself. I actually had chronic pain in my neck, which then led me to a wonderful chiropractor. But on the flip side, my classmate and one of my besties, Nele Kahalipuna-chan, was already doing a program. And as I watched her, I knew that I needed to see what this program was all about. So that's when, July of 2018, I started this health journey. And it's about a program that it's not a diet, it's a health program because it also helps you with educating yourself. How do I become nutritionally sound? We all understand good nutrition in, the body will heal itself if you have any ailing problems. Good energy in, good energy out in the form of some form of exercise, and we can keep our body at this happy place, weight-wise, strength-wise, and so forth. So I started this journey, and then I started to realize I didn't love myself. Not that I hated myself, but I didn't put myself first. So I really had to learn how to love myself again, how to learn how to look in the mirror. And even though at that time I was really, in all honesty, disgusted with what I saw, see what I saw, and then vision what I can become. And so as my body started this journey of health and wellness, the mind had to follow suit. So the program that I'm on talks about education. It talks about, I have a great hui of coaches. I have a wonderful community of support. And then I also have the actual plan and program. Now I have done everything. I've done the plans. I've done the keto and the Atkins and all these others out there. I've bought the pills that I thought would give me that satisfaction of weight loss. And a lot of them, I did lose the weight, but I never had the understanding and the education to then take me from hitting my goal and sustaining it for the rest of my life. And therefore, that's why we have that yo-yo dieting. Emotionally, I had to forgive myself for many things. Forgive myself for letting myself go. Forgive myself for not paying more attention to my husband's illness. Forgive myself for any wrong I may have done to anyone in my life, and even people I don't know. I really had to humble myself, and I always thought I was a humble person, but I really had to humble myself to stop beating myself up. And is that something that's gone away? Is that something I have conquered? I am working on it. You know, the battle, I think, for everyone is our mind. And we always have to put affirmations in our life. We have to always remind ourselves of our worth and self-love. And so On this journey, as of now, I've lost a little over 80 pounds. The scale success is great, but the non-scale successes are wonderful. I used to sweat profusely. And I'm sure you remember any concert, I had a rag. I'm always wiping my face. And that's why I felt good in Japan, because everybody had a towel because it's so hot in Japan. So I was like with my people, everybody had a towel. I couldn't walk and hold a conversation because I was always out of breath. I would waddle side to side. Now I walk heel toe. I took medication. I'm off of meds. I don't have high blood pressure. My cholesterol is great, so I'm off of medication. I used to take pain medication for my knees every single day. I have not done that since I started this program. I am now building myself not only physically, but mentally. And what I mean by mentally is I'm sharing my story, and my mission now is, especially during COVID, my mission is to help those who are seeking better health. Because in this pandemic, we all know that underlying medical issues also includes overweight. Because when we're overweight, the body is inflamed somewhere, right? Inflammation, when our hands swell up, or our knees or our feet, that's the body warning us that something's wrong. So my mission has been to really help people who are looking for something. And I share with them the program I'm on. I share with them at how beneficial it has been for me. And I say this at 100% conviction. This has truly changed and saved my life. And since then, my life has changed in more ways than just weight loss.
Has this been a really individual journey, or has this been a quote unquote team journey where you've got also people that are on board with you and helping you along the way?
So I have a great hui of coaches that support me in every way. I am also a certified health coach, so I support other people. But when I first started the program, here's the funny thing. When I first started the program, I told my kids, 3 of them who live at home, I am going to buy groceries. I am going to buy specific groceries. So if you want rice or bread or candy or 7-Eleven or Starbucks or whatever, fast food, you're on your own. I'm not buying that. I'm not going to support bad eating habits because I need to do this for me. As I started my journey, I think I was in week 2, all of a sudden my household, their mindset started to change. They stopped. One of my daughters drank soda all the time. She stopped drinking soda. She drank more water. Whatever I made for dinner, I made for the whole family, but they would go make rice if they wanted rice. That started to stop to the point where they don't buy rice anymore. So these things that kind of hinder us until we get a really good understanding of what good nutrition and good health is. Because I'm not saying that rice is bad or bread is bad, but it's not good for me and it wasn't good for my kids. So we had to learn how to be nutritionally sound so we can incorporate those things back into our program. Whole grains, even fruit. For me, fruit is too much sugar. So I have to lower the amount of sugar in order to continue my weight loss journey. But yes, I have a wonderful crew of a hui of people. I am very open and raw about my health journey, about how it came to be, about where I was, where I am, and where I want to be. One of the things I also talk about on Facebook, I do a lot of Facebook Lives just to hopefully inspire my friends who are watching. I talk about specific topics like fear, especially during COVID. What does fear mean? Strength, balance. The one thing I understand is optimal health is what we all strive for. And optimal health is here. And when we understand that, and we can give ourselves equally to all the different people and aspects of our life, then we can stay centered and we can stay pono. But the moment that it takes us, let's say, to work or it takes us to our children, then the other parts of our life might suffer for a little while. If we stay here too long, they suffer a lot. But if we understand that optimal journey of ours, body, mind, spirit, and there's other aspects of it, we can continue to live this life and be aware of these things. I have a ritual in the morning, and I have affirmations that I read. I ho'oponopono with myself almost every day, sometimes multiple times a day, depending on what's going on. And I always ask for positivity, for me to be able to exude love, compassion, joy, grace, self-worth, self-love, trust. So when I do these Facebook Lives, my intention is to, at least if someone is watching and they said, you know what, Angela, I needed that for today. Thank you so much. But to inspire people to help others. During this time, let's pay it forward. And we talk about wearing a mask, right? So I always talk about the 3 W's: wear your mask, wash your hands, watch your distance. If we all do it, and I don't like wearing my mask. As soon as I come out of the store and I get in the car, I'm ripping it off because I just feel so hot and just confined. But I wear it because out of respect for everyone else, as well as to protect them and myself. I've gone from this musical entity and this mother entity to this other person, this health person who now has a mission to really help others. And that's what I've been doing during COVID. Now, if you notice my background, I don't have kids walking around because I don't live at home anymore. My children live at home on the West Side, and I moved to Pro City because I met someone who I know is the love of my life, passed away, and I have his legacy in my children and my grandchildren. But this gentleman is my soulmate. The ironic thing, Bill, is they both are named Ricardo. Just ironic.
Wow.
And the thing about this relationship is, here you have now 2 people that are in the second half of their lives. I'm 54, he's 62, and we're trying to take 2 lives that have already been established, 2 people that have already created themselves, and trying to blend them into one. Whereas when you're 20 and you're young, the 2 of you are learning together. So that's been challenging, but also good and inspiring. When I started my health journey, one of the tasks I had to do was write down, why do I want to get healthy? And I know that sounds, because majority people like me, I want to lose weight, I want to live longer, I want to be a good example, what have you. And I wrote about 7 whys. But number 6 and number 7 were for myself. Number 6, I'm a tennis player. I've always played tennis since I was 5. I stopped playing once I became barefoot and pregnant and all of that stuff. I want to get back into playing tennis. And I know I need to strengthen my body, strengthen my legs, strengthen my knees so I can do that. I'm excited. I can't wait. Number 7 was something that I wrote, but I never spoke. And I didn't speak it for a few weeks. Finally, I spoke it, but I whispered it to my coaches. Then a few months later, I said it out loud where my kids could hear, but I wanted to fall in love again. Therefore, fast forward, I am now living with a man that I'm getting married in next June.
Wow.
So life has definitely changed. And I realized that I am now evolving. I am the inchworm that's finally coming out of the cocoon and hopefully blossoming into that butterfly.
First of all, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
On many levels, not only on finding love and your upcoming wedding. Congratulations. but on all the other things. And then my question for you is that I am assuming that the health positives have also included, have you been able to, since you've lost the weight and since you've been gaining strength in different ways, has that also helped the musical and singing career?
For me personally, yeah, you bet. I actually, because like I said before, I couldn't walk and hold the conversation, let alone the work I did at Aulani, or I do at Aulani, to be able to sing and do a show and circle the Makahiki restaurant was just, at one point it was too much for me. I was just having a really hard time. When I exercise now, I have a piece of machinery. It's not an elliptical and it's not a bike, but it's like you hold the bars and your legs push. So instead of turning this way, it's a push and pull mechanism. And I use it to just to get the heart going, get the blood flowing and stuff like that. And the funny thing is, people say, I do 45 minutes on the treadmill. I do 5 songs. That's how I time myself. 5 songs, about 20 minutes, right? I do 5, but as I'm doing them, I'm singing. So I'm actually building my lungs. I'm continuing to sing so I can continue to fine tune my vocal cords and my mechanism. I do have, I am playing the ukulele more than I've ever had, and I'm choosing cover songs that I'm learning to play. I've never been the composer of Naleo per se. Lehua and Nalani have definitely wrote more songs than me, but I am connecting with the the poet in myself, if that makes sense. So I am journaling and I'm doing those kinds of things that I would never think about doing because my life was just too busy. And I'm enjoying this time of being in a new relationship, learning how to be in a relationship, because I was single as a widow. I was single for 16 years. But he's definitely brought the color back into my life. And I laugh a lot with him, which is great. And my kids, my 3 older kids are happy for me. Of course, my baby Mana, still getting used to it. But they all respect him, that he is loving their mother and wanting to spend the rest of his life with me. It's a plus.
Real quickly here, if somebody wants more information on the journey that you are taking specifically, where can they find you and where can they get more information?
Facebook is the best place to connect with me on Messenger. I am always sharing the journey there. I actually started a new Facebook page called Angela's Health Journey. It's still in construction, but that page is where I try to get really raw and really and if anybody wanted to ask me questions on Facebook Live, I'm more than happy to share what I'm doing, what I've done, what I didn't do, and how I came to be as heavy. I have a picture of us at a casino and we're eating dinner. And it's me, and then right next to me is Ariana Seyu, and right next to her is Lehua. And I am sitting on the booth side, and then there's the tables and there's regular chairs. And the picture is angled at me this way. My stomach, Bill, is hanging over the table. And I always look at that picture. And there's also another picture of us singing the national anthem at a UH volleyball game. I believe it was 2017. And then we just sang again early 2020 before quarantine shutdown happened. And I hate that picture, but I look at it because I need to remember where I was and the fight that I'm continuing to do for myself. And how every once in a while I pat myself on the back that we can always wish we should have done something sooner, but, and I've had people say that, oh, I wish I could have done it sooner. I'm too old. You know what? It's never too late
Mm.
to make a change in your life. Never, ever too late.
All right. We've been talking story about the journey of Angela Morales, who is going to go through different journeys now. And if you need to reach her, once again, we'll put those in the description below. Angela, thank you so much for joining us, and continued success to you. That's exciting.
Thank you. I so appreciate it. And I so miss all of you. Bill, I miss you so much. And I cannot wait to the day where we can hug each other again. I will have a t-shirt on that says free hugs. Give it here. And I'll go hug everybody. I just miss that a lot.
Free hugs. Okay, I'm writing that down so we can make the t-shirt, because I would wear that t-shirt too. You're watching Billy V Live.